Hello everyone, today we are going to do the presentation of life in the Aussie cities. My name is Zhao. I'm going to present from the introduction and the first three topics, then move to Wang Yi. She will do the remaining part and the reference. Let's begin with the introduction. Aussie cities have increasingly attracted the interest of many researchers and scholars. Tashi is the most prominent Aussie city in the situated on the Asian Silk Road. As the paper, we will attempt to show, despite the risk to life in the cities, the ecologic and economic base of the Aussie cities, their social and cultural characteristics, as well as their situation in regard to nomadic groups. Surrounding experience and trading along the Silk Road allowed for the almost ending benefits. Then let's move to the next part, the ecological base of the life in the Aussie city. The Aussie cities were situated in very advantageous location. As such, they were centrally located, which means that any utility service can be easily accessed. An additional allocated characteristic is that during the winter, the climate was not usually very cold. Well, this is the reason the summer were often very hot. More to this, the area were rich in the natural resources. Gold and jade can be found in the cities. The Aussie city were agriculturally productive, and this is especially so given the fact that crops, fruits, and silk were available in plenty. Simcox and Law confirmed this claim by debating that the Aussie city were situable not only for pasture but also farming. A further ecological characteristic is that the cities were dominated by desert climate, only the not only the sun. Then let's move to the economic characteristic. One of the most characteristic is that the city were highly productive when it comes to cash crops, including silk. Secondly, the central location of the cities were currently in that is allowed for trade between merchants from different regions. For example, Kashmir is situated on the Silk Road and has thereby connected merchants from the Middle East, China, and Europe. Aside from this, the supply of water, which is the major driver for the macro production, was adequate, and available the availability of key nature resources such as jade and gold also play a critical role in the facilitations of the trade not only within the city but also beyond. Then let's move to the social and cultural characteristic of the Aussie cities. According to the vaccine, the Aussie cities did not serve as more steps points on the Silk Road. Instead, they also existed as primarily contributors to enhanced livelihood. This is especially because the cities produce goods following to the steppe. What this means is that there is not for the cities. The people in the steppes would not have access to utility produced. An additional cultural characteristic of the city, such as culture, is that they were rich. As cosmopolitan centers, it means that the Aussie cities promoted cultural diversity. At the same time, cities allowed for people from different cultures to understand each other, thereby producing social cohesion. The lifestyle of the people in the old cities were sedentary, meaning that it was complex. In addition to this, the language spoken is very kind, such as the Indian and Chinese, and it was shown on the screen, and also the written language. That's all, thank you. Let's move to Wan Yi.
Hi, I'm Wan Yi. First, I will introduce the situation of the OC cities concerning surrounding empires, traders along the Silk Road, and nomadic groups. The surrounding empire were influential to the situation of the OC cities. For instance, the empires made the cities military and critical hubs. Besides, the cities remained in the commercial state, implying that they did not have sovereignty. The empires also influenced the culture and the language used in the OC city. The nomadic groups also had a significant say in the current situation. In the cities, as such, it is through the nomadic culture that the movement of migration of people into the OC city from other areas prevailed. The traders along the Silk Road have been influential in that it was through that the OC city had vastly developed state-of-the-art infrastructure, including technological developments. Secondly, I will talk the risk of the life in the OC city. The OC city, according to Hua Jun, was characterized by the vast risk to life. Such included harsh weather conditions, including sun and storm, quick spread of disease, unproductive conflicts between different religions and cultures, and the breakout of the war and the massacre, which left very many people died. The proactive building were also a threat to the lives of the people in the cities. Thirdly, I will talking about the benefit of the OC city. The risk profiled in the profile section did not make the OC city less desirable. Instead, there were a series of benefits that were always to the fore. One of the most important was that every individual in the city was independent. Apart from this, the cities were major stops for several surrounding empires. Apart from this, many utility goods were traded. The people had a choice when it came to faith, as many religions were spreading. In conclusion, even though the OC city were characterized by some deleterious effects, the ecological and economic basis of the OC city, their social and cultural characteristics, as well as their situation in regard to the nomadic groups, surrounding empires, and traders along the Silk Road allowed for the almost unending benefits. The historical issues should be adopted as key lessons when developing future OC city if the risks are to be avoided. Thank you for listening, and the references are shown on PPT last pages.